Emma had always hated mirrors. Something about seeing her reflection unsettled her, but she couldn't explain why. She avoided looking into them whenever possible, but after moving into her new apartment, there was one she couldn't escape: an antique mirror that came with the place, mounted in the hallway. It was large, ornate, and impossible to ignore. The previous tenant had left it behind, and despite her discomfort, Emma left it where it was, deciding it gave the apartment some character. The first night in the apartment was quiet. Too quiet. Emma lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, when she heard a faint creaking sound, like someone was walking in the hall. She sat up, her heart pounding, but saw nothing. She convinced herself it was just the old building settling and tried to sleep. The next day, as she walked past the mirror, she paused. Her reflection seemed off, like it was delayed for just a second. Emma blinked and leaned in closer. Her reflection copied her, but the timing still felt wrong. Uneasy, she shrugged it off as her imagination playing tricks on her. That night, the creaking sound returned, louder this time. It came from the hallway again, near the mirror. Emma got out of bed and tiptoed toward the sound. The hallway was empty, but when she glanced at the mirror, she froze. Her reflection was standing there facing her, but it wasn't copying her movements. Instead, it smiled a slow, sinister grin that sent chills down her spine. Emma's heart raced and she stumbled back, her breath quickening. The reflection lifted its hand and placed it against the glass, still smiling. She turned and ran back to her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. She tried to calm down, telling herself it wasn't real, just her imagination. But deep down, she knew something was wrong with that mirror. The next morning, Emma decided to cover it. She draped a large blanket over the glass, but the uneasy feeling remained. That night, she woke again to the sound of creaking. This time it was closer, right outside her bedroom door. Emma didn't want to look, but something compelled her. She slowly opened the door, and her breath caught in her throat. The blanket was on the floor, and the mirror was uncovered. But worse, her reflection was gone. She stood frozen in the hallway, staring at the empty mirror. Suddenly, she felt a cold breath on the back of her neck. She turned around but saw nothing. Her reflection, however, had reappeared, but now it was in the hallway behind her, outside of the glass. It reached out, a twisted version of herself, grinning darkly. Emma screamed, but it was too late. The last thing she saw was her reflection pulling her into the glass, trapping her inside the cold, endless void of the mirror. The next tenant who moved in found an antique mirror in the hallway, beautiful, but strangely unsettling. They swore sometimes they saw someone else staring back,